And welcome back to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina, right here on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS. Today we are talking about bullying, and we have Susan Contreras joining us in studio from the Domestic Violence Center. You know, before we went on a break, we were talking about bullying, and Wendy, you were sharing your experience in school about being bullied. And one of the tools that we started to talk about was walking away, just not giving it any more attention, turning your back on it, not resisting it or feeding the fuel so that to give them more stuff to talk about.
Right.
And your response during the break was
that wouldn't have worked for me. That definitely wouldn't have worked for me because these were my group of friends. They were my friends, and I couldn't walk away from my friends. 80% of the time, we all got along, and everything was great. And, you know, these were the people I hung out with at recess and at lunch and after school, and we were involved in a lot of the same after-school activities. So we'd go to practice together. We'd stay after school. Our moms were all friends. So, you know, we'd carpool in the morning to school and carpool back home afterwards, after our activities. So walking away was not a choice for me. Only 20% of the time was I getting picked on.
Now I got to intervene. There was a choice for you.
That was a choice for me, yeah. But it wasn't, the payoffs were greater to stay in the group than to walk away.
Okay, great. Let's talk about this. So what were the payoffs you were getting from hanging around your friends, your so-called friends, that were picking on you? That actually had you to the point where you were depressed and you left to go find new friends.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Well, the payoff eventually turned around, right? So the bullying eventually got to me to the point where I was like, no, I want new friends. I want a new environment. I think the payoff for me as a 14-year-old girl was that they were the cool kids.
So to be a part of something.
Yeah. Well, to be a part of something, but to also be a part of the cool kids.
That's what part of something was the cool kids.
Yeah. That there was value in that for me. That meant social status.
I get it. It raises the question, though, is what kind of friends do you want to hang around? And what's the meaning of friends?
Right, because that sounds like the mean girl clique.
Yeah.
That's what that sounds like.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny is now I'm no longer in contact with any of those girls. But the high school that I went to and started from scratch, I made what I now consider real friends, which both of my closest friends in high school with, I am still very good friends with 20 years later from where we met.
Because there was that emotional bond.
Yes, there was a difference in terms of the type of friendship we created.
Now, I'm always going to ask these questions, right?
Yes.
So could you have
I'm open to your coaching,
So
Alex.
could you have created new friends the same way you did in the new school with the school that you were at where you were being bullied?
You know, I totally could have. At the time, I didn't see it as a possibility, but I totally could have. Absolutely. Absolutely. It would have been a very empowering place for me to have stood from.
Now, imagine your parents actually getting clear about that and having you stick it out. Like, no, you're not going to run.
Right.
You're going to go and you're either going to decide whether these are your true friends or not and get clear about that. And if they're not, then go create new ones.
Yes.
Now talking about an empowering conversation, wouldn't that be powerful for you to stand up and say, you know what, guys, how about standing up for yourself, period?
Yeah.
You know what, guys, this
not okay with me.
Yeah, this is totally not okay with me, hurts my feelings, and either you guys are going to quit it or I'm going to quit you, one or the other.
And it's building your self-esteem, too. That's really what you're learning there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think I didn't have enough self-esteem to begin with to be able to even state that, because I think it takes a certain level of confidence in yourself to be able to be like, okay, well, I'm going to create boundaries as to what I see as acceptable or not acceptable. Yeah. And I think that's part of why I do the work that I do now with the girls at the Zone, is because I really want them to have that sense of self-worth in them, that then they won't even be able to allow themselves to be in a situation where they're getting bullied.
What's the name of that workshop that you're doing at the Action Family Zone?
Inner Grace. It's called Inner Grace. It's happening tomorrow, Tuesday, from 5 to 6. We do it twice a month, and it's just for girls.
And it's free.
And it's free.
And you're helping build self-esteem.
That's right.
So that you do body image.
Yes, we're going to work on body image, absolutely. We're working on character right now.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's all about building your self-worth and your value so you get what an amazing human being you are, so that when these situations pop up, because they will pop up in life, you have enough inner strength to handle them.
You know what beautiful tools you're teaching these kids already.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing is that I think girls can be really mean, and I never really seen that in the years growing up. But as I'm doing these workshops and around kids a little more often, or at the high schools and walking around, girls can be mean. They
Yeah,
could be
yeah,
the,
Right.
probably the meanest bullies out there.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. We see that a lot with healthy relationships that we do with teens out at the Domestic Violence Center. And a lot of the workshops, when we're out there asking questions, we'll get a lot of more of the girls that are actually stating that they're the ones that are the unhealthy portion of the relationship, so to speak. So it's very
Isn't that
interesting.
interesting?
It's
Yeah.
very interesting. And like age 13 up
Yeah.
is when it starts really becoming more of a bully issue.
There's this saying that when men fight, it's just a fight. But when women fight, it's an art form.
What does that mean? It's an art form.
That's because in the way in which women fight, we use words and we're very manipulative and creative
So it's like
about how
it's a
we
whole
use-
game.
Oh yeah.
And then there's
Absolutely.
Retaliation's
it's where
huge.
you sit in the lunchroom. It's what you're wearing. It's who you allow to walk into the bathroom first. It's where you sit in the classroom.
This is what makes great reality TV.
It's all of that. It's not
This
a
is-
fight. It's the look across the hallway, right? It's who you go out with on Saturday, who you go to the mall with, who you don't invite to the mall after
Right.
school.
That's true.
That's
amazing.
That's all fighting. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's true.
It's different levels. So
Different
that I
levels,
see what you're
yeah.
saying by an art form is they're perfecting it.
Yes.
They're getting
It's
better at.
complicated and it has a lot of layers to it. And it's not as simple as we don't like you. That's it. Get out of our group. Oh, no. It's much more, we kind of like you today.
Entangled.
Yes. Much more complicated. That's why it's so important to give these girls and boys tools as to what
Right.
to do,
Right.
how to combat and how to really take on the bullies themselves. Yeah. So when we get back from the break, let's talk about how we can empower parents and how we can empower the actual students, the bullies and the person getting bullied to actually change their circumstances.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds great.
All right, great. So you're listening to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
Hi, I'm Chris.